All right. Yes, it's a beautiful. All right, yes, it is a beautiful Friday evening. Yes, don't mind us on that one. And it is another episode of the Corporate Life Show with Mark Aiden. Tonight is going to be an interesting episode where we'll be discussing mastering, the real estate game and investment strategy. So please, as we continue into this conversation, please do us a favor, do your friend a favor, you know them out there, tag them to the what to this live session and encourage them to join us because yes, it is going to be an interesting conversation tonight. And with me in the studio, of course, is someone special, and the way she take herself to the public out there, telling them how and where to invest your money into. And what she talks more most of the time is what we'll be discussing today. And we have another guest also who is also a master in this industry. And of course, on the Corporate Life Show every Friday evening when we come like this, we want to share with you informations that help you become a better person in whatever area of industry you find yourself, either as an entrepreneur as or as a professional working in an organization. So tonight is no exception. Tonight we have come with a very important topic: mastering the real estate game and investment strategies. So you've heard a lot of information out there about real estate and the like. So tonight, you will not just be hearing about it. You'll be learning much more about the game of real estate and how do you invest your money, your hard-earned money, to what to for income generation, for wealth creation, and for whatever purposes you may have set for yourself. And for me tonight, in the house, one of our guests is already here in the studio with us, and she'll be discussing this topic, this matter, as it may concern you. As it may concern you. If you have any question, if you are so excited about the conversation tonight, please drop a comment in the comment box right there. Let's get to know you. Let's get to know who is joining us and where you are joining us from, and what are your expectations from the conversation tonight. Please, as we continue with the conversation, our time is fast spent. Remember, my name is Adeniyi Macarthy. You can call me Mark Aiden, and I'm your host once again today. So join me and welcome Blessing Ezeagu. We'll be discussing the topic, the Duchess of Real Estate. Welcome. Thank you very much. I love that
Thank
smile. I love that
you
smile. Okay, blessing,
so
blessing.
much.
Before we go into the conversation tonight, has anyone ever told you that you look too beautiful to be a real estate investor or something of that nature? Like someone will think you should be in maybe in finance, maybe in the banking sector, maybe in the insurance sector. You understand? You understand what I mean?
I understand.
So don't be surprised by the time after the show, we start getting messages, you start getting call from audience. So don't mind, don't mind. But then it's part of the game anyway. It's part of the game. You need to look beautiful enough to sell what you have for your clients. Thank you very much for joining us on the show tonight.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. Thank you, everyone. Good evening. My name is Blessing Ezeagu, as he has introduced earlier. I also call myself the Real Estate Duchess. Yeah, and I do not just represent myself alone. I represent a global company called GTEX Holdings. I work under the subsidiary called GTEX Homes as one of their branch managers. And it's indeed an opportunity to, rather, it's indeed a privilege for me to be here. Thank you so much. Thank you. And to answer your question, I get that a lot, but I've never been asked directly, like the way you just said it right now. I get that a lot.
Okay. Wow.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
we're going to move straight to the much. We are so excited to have you, and we will be diving into the conversation today. And remember, this is the Corporate Life Show with Mark Oden. I am your host. My name is Adeniyi Macarthy. And tonight, of course, as you can see on your screen, we're looking at mastering the real estate game and investment strategies. We'll be looking at questions that borders on your personal involvement. I mean, for the audience out there, or your investment, any way it may concern you, a relative, an organization you work as a salesperson in a real estate organization, or you are starting a business in the real estate business. So it's all game for us. It's all game, and that's why we're looking at the game, mastering the game of real estate uh, investment. So thank you very much once again, Blessing, for joining us tonight. Our second guest is yet to join us, but then we hope that as we continue in the conversation tonight, he will be joining us, and then we'll be able to what hear his opinion of the question we'll be tweeting tonight. And yes, we are. I mean, we will have to commence the conversation once and for all. All right. So question one is, how does one understand the basics of real estate game and investment?
All right. Thank you so much for that question. So, to answer that question, before I go into the question itself, I need you to understand that getting knowledge in real estate is not a destination, it's a journey. You need to understand that it's a journey. So saying that, okay, you want to get the basics, I want to know, because I get that a lot. Someone will be like, Blessing, please, I want to know how to kickstart the real estate. You must first have the mindset that this is a very long journey. It's not something you are going to start now and stop ahead of the way. Real estate is long term, which is why it's called transgenerational wealth. So the first basis is to get the right mindset, and not just any mindset, a growth mindset. There are two types of mindset, the fixed mindset and the growth mindset. So the reason why you are right here, right now, watching this session is because you have a growth mindset. You want to be better than you were last minute. I don't even like to say yesterday, the last minute. All right. So that's the first thing. Okay. So secondly is for you to get research on real estate broadly. Real estate is very vast. Trust me. When people say real estate, I feel it's too broad. There are different aspects of real estate. So you tell yourself, where can I start from? And in asking that question, you then analyze your strengths and weaknesses. How do I mean? There's something called SWOT analysis when you want to do business, right? You also need to carry out that for yourself. That way, you'll be able to tell yourself that, okay, this is my strength at the moment. I have met some amazing realtors who their strength is just selling houses in Lekki. I have met some amazing realtors who their strength is just selling lands only. They don't have any business with houses. So you as a person, you have to be self-aware of your strengths. Now, there are some people who are good with online selling, while there are some people who are good better with offline selling. It's not like they cannot merge the two together, but one strength supersedes the other. So you are the one to then tell yourself, what can I do? Where can I start from? Right? As a company that's GTEX Homes, now GTEX Holdings, we started with land banking. How do I mean? We bought land like in acres in a particular location in Ikorodu. Currently now is one of the most luxurious estates we have at the moment. We bought it then, and then we started selling it, you know, after some years when it has appreciated. Land banking is another aspect of real estate. So you tell yourself, what aspect do you want to go into? So there's an aspect of shortlets, there's an aspect of land acquisition, which is currently, which I mentioned, land banking. There's an aspect of you selling houses. There's another aspect of called the real estate investment trust fund, more like crowdfunding, if you want to go into that aspect, whereby you gather funds from people who are interested in investing in real estate, and then make something out of it. You show them a project or a vision that you want them to carry out based on your vision for maybe your company. It could be even in agriculture, it could be in housing, it could be in mini estate, whatever it is. Thirdly, I've mentioned 3 points now. Thirdly is get mentorship. Now, there are two active ways I have seen over the years that you can make it in real estate. It's either you pay for courses or you get mentors. Now, there's a difference between a mentor and a coach, right? A mentor is someone who will guide you through, right? And mentorship, they say, is wisdom without pain. Ubon King once said that. And mentorship will guide you through. But a coach, right? A coach will be the one to tell you, put your hand here, put your hand there, take this turn, take that turn. While a mentor will come in once in a while to say, okay, I want to. So getting a mentor and getting a coach, whichever you can afford, right? Try your possible best to get them. It's either you pay for them, or better still, you you go through what they call apprenticeship, more like internship. That's why you see graduate trainees go to companies to learn certain things. Internship has been one of the most profitable way. In fact, even in today's time, if you want to know someone who would take after his boss, check out his apprenticeships. Sorry, his apprentice rather. Check out the people who have worked for him for some certain period of years, because that way you'll be able to learn the nitty gritty of the business. However, if you choose to pay, maybe you don't have time in your hands and you choose to pay, better, whichever one works for you. So these are the 3 steps that you can use to kickstart the basis in real estate. I mentioned them earlier. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. If I have the opportunity to just be an audience, just to listen and learn, I think I will have written up to a page by now from what you have shared, because of course these are value packed conversation, and I want everyone joining us tonight to please not take it for granted and not feel like, oh, it's one of those online show. And this is the corporate life show. It is not the usual conversation. It is every time we come on the show every Friday, different dynamics, and come with extra more output. And tonight, if you are enjoying blessings, sharing with us the game, play the game of real estate, not the one you play on the football pitch anyway. So quickly, we want to go into the next question because of our time. What are the key factors to consider when evaluating a potential investment opportunity in real estate?
All right. Very interesting question. Okay. What are the key factors? Like the word say key factors. I love to, because from every question you get the answer. Hmm? So key factors. Yeah, true. Key factors in this sense, those key things you need to note in a particular location. Let's say, for instance, land banking. I told you my company started with the land banking aspect. They didn't start with a house or land banking. And imagine now you want to buy a land in a developing area like Ibejuleki or Ekpe, for instance. I'm just using that illustration so that you can understand better. So you should first and foremost you should think of the location. What is happening in that's the first thing. The first thing is the location. In fact, even if it's a house you want to buy, it's the location. Location, location, location. Location is key in real estate. The second thing you should look out for is the landmarks. What is going on around there? What's going on around this location? In fact,
Hmm.
landmarks are, or rather, proposed landmarks. Now, when I say landmarks, I'm talking of maybe the Ikoyis, the Lekkis. I'm using Lagos as an example. The Ikoyis, the Lekkis. Check out the landmark. It's no news today. Nobody needs to tell you that Ikoyi is valuable because you can see what's going on around there. But when you're looking at, maybe if you're just starting out, or if you feel you want to go for the advanced or the appreciated location, even if you're buying from Ikoyi, look out for what is going on around there. Does it have hospitals around there? What are the landmarks that appreciate the environment? We're looking at hospitals, we're looking at malls, we're looking at commercial activities, especially if you are the type that's looking to, you know, set up your own residential location. You should look out for more areas with more commercial activities, because then the need for residents is higher in those locations rather than, locations that have more of residential. So that way your real estate investment will appreciate faster, because in those locations there's high demand for house or land in those locations. So the next thing you should look out for is the land type. What's the land type there? Now, the land type will also determine the pricing. Look, for instance, some people say Lekki. I remember telling this story to a client of mine, and I told him that my dad said something. If he had known that the swampy area called Lekki today would turn out to be the pricing as which it is today, he would have bought that land. Do you know that Lekki was selling as far back as, my dad told me it was selling as low as 600,000 naira. The Lekki that we see today, that even your 100 million cannot buy 300 square meter. My dad told me that, and he said if he had known, he would have bought plots. But then again, he was thinking of, investing in other locations. So these things I'm telling you they're experimental. They are things that I have heard from my leaders, right? So the Lekki of today was once a swampy area. I'm sure a lot of people were discouraged with the swampy area. They forgot that there's something called sand filling. And check it. If you do your research very well, most areas that are being sandfilled are even tend to be more expensive. Look at Echo Atlantic, look at Victoria Island, right? Those areas that are sandfilled tend to be more expensive than even the normal regular land. So it depends on what you are
Mm.
looking out for. The next thing you should look out for is the features. Now, if you are going into real estate investment, in order for you to package, there's something called land packaging. That maybe I'll discuss in another question. Land packaging. If you are going into the aspect of land, even if you're going into the aspect of mini estate, you should understand land packaging. And how do I land packaging is what appreciates the value of your land or your mini estate, whatever investment aspect you want to go into, right? You need to package your land or your housing units very well with premium features. In GTEX Homes here, we do a lot of packaging when it comes to what they call it, when it comes to the kind of features we are bringing into the estate, using renewable energy like biodigesters that convert human waste to gas, promoting healthy living with this renewable energy, thinking futuristic with putting electric charging poles. Of course, it's no news that the world is thinking electric energy, right? Very soon you see
Of
that
course.
cars will no longer be using fuels anymore. We're using more of electric cars. So we're going to be having electric charging ports in our estates. We're going to be using more of solar, right? You don't need to be under the national grid. We're going to be using more of renewable energy. We're not going to be planting more flowers. These are many more things. And lastly, you think of price. Price is the last thing. It's amazing
Mm.
how price is the last thing, right? There's something I mentioned.
Wonder. But let me allow you speak on
It's
that.
amazing how price is the last thing. There's something Dr. Stephen Akintayo used to say. He's my
Mhm.
chairman and he's someone I look up to and I respect so much. He says this. He said, when you want to invest, invest like you have a lot of money. Like when you are thinking of an investment, think like you have a lot of money. Don't consider price first. Price should be the last. And that is all. These are the key factors you should consider if you want to, when evaluating the potential investment opportunity. And if you look around you, you will see that that is what is being used to evaluate any property. Thank you very
Mm.
much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. If I think we should clap. We should clap, but let's leave it till the end of the what conversation because we still have a lot to learn and we still have a lot of questions to ask. And I'm sure the audience too we have questions for guests on the show tonight. And thank you very much, Blessing, for joining us on the conversation here at the Corporate Live Show with Mark Aiden. Remember, audience, these shows take place every Friday evening, 7 p.m. on the dot, where we discuss matters that borders on your own personal growth, business development, and helping you to create the entrepreneurial skill that you need to what to go to the next level in your chosen field of endeavor. Thank you very much once again. We're going on with the questions, and looking at the question, you made mention of some categories of business and investments in the real estate game. I think we need to dive deep and deeper on that note. So that takes us to the next question three. What are the most profitable types of properties to invest in, considering current market trend?
All right. Thank you so much for that question. What are the most profitable types of properties to invest in? Now, if you are thinking transgenerational, I'm not saying there is no property that is not transgenerational. Don't get me wrong.
Hmm.
All real estate properties can and is transgenerational. But I get a lot of questions, really from young people, the Gen Zs. I know they're in the house, yeah. I get a lot of questions from them. So,
Sure.
please, I need something I can use to invest in now, and I'll get the money. There are different aspects of you
Hmm.
know investments, right? There's this one they call the flip flop, but it's not really active here in Nigeria. It's more active in diaspora. That's the UK, the US, where you get a property. You rarely see it. I've seen it happen, but we rarely see it here in Nigeria. But it's something you can do. You look for a house, or a house that is, I won't say old, but you look for a house that is maybe the style of the architectural style is no longer in vogue. And that's one
Hmm.
thing people need to understand. As we go older, as time goes on, the architectural styles of buildings change. So when you look out for those kind of structures, then you then discuss, either you discuss with the landlord, or you buy the property, rebrand it, increase the pricing, and resell. That is one aspect, right, of investment. So let's come back to the question, please. I'm drifting away. What are the most profitable types of properties to invest considering the current market trends? So today, I'll tell you, for instance, real estate is long term. Real estate is not something you invest. If you really want to get the return on investment that will shock you, some people say, no. They want to invest in that of Ikoyi. The people that invested in Lekki when it was selling at 600,000 naira, and they waited till today. Those are people that invested in what they call land banking, right?
Hmm.
These are people that invested in what they call land bank. Why there are some people who invested with real estate companies that were building apartments, right? Building apartments, and in those apartments, they converted it to money churning systems called shortlets, right?
Hmm.
I see one. There's one I saw at Lekki, along Lekki Expressway. In fact, almost the entire apartment there is used for shortlets. So you can either choose to invest in land banking. I'm telling you the most profitable ones, or you choose to invest with a real estate company that is already building apartments or houses, right? And then you buy with them, right? You buy with them, because why I say this is the most profitable, because it's safer. Your money is safer. You buy with, I have mentioned one, that's land banking. The second one is apartments, right? Especially in a prime location like Lagos. And even if it's not just Lagos, look for in any city, look for the prime location, like locations like in Abuja, they have Metama, they have Asokoro, right? Try your possible best to get apartments that you can buy or even rent. That one is another discussion for another day. You can buy or rent, whichever way, then use it to start the shortlet business. When I was discussing this with one of my friends, how shortlet is booming right now in today's world, you will not believe. By the time we analyze the calculations and how much you'll be leasing out each room, you'll be amazed at how much you are leaving on the table right now, even as we speak. So these are the two
Hmm.
profitable investments right now. I'm talking of land banking. Why I say land banking is because land is something that will appreciate, but that one will take time to appreciate. Let's say 5, 10 years, right? Max 10 years. It shouldn't exceed 10 years for appreciation, right? So that is it from my end. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you. Land banking, properties, investment is one for you. we taking that from Blessing as an advice from it, I mean, from her. Then it's not only about before also purchase of property, the issues. So, of course, question four: how the city of land document and ownership, because this can, I mean, pose a threat to your investment.
Okay, so how do you verify the authenticity of your land documents and ownership? Right? Okay. One is understand local land laws for yourself first. Hmm? Because I don't want to say, go and hire a lawyer. Yeah, I'm coming to the part of you hiring a lawyer. But first, you must understand local laws and regulations. And it will interest you to know that these people are around you, right? We see all these local governments, every unit, every central area, every unit in Lagos or in Abuja or in anywhere in the world has local, local institutions where you can go and ask questions, right? So understanding them, if possible, get the booklets. There are laws guarding every location. So get it for yourself. That is the first thing.
Mm,
Secondly, is get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. If you are the type that love, because I have some people who like to buy individual plots. Individual plots are plots that are not under anybody. You buy them directly from communities, families, or you buy them um, from individuals, right? Or from the omoniles, let me put it that way, right?
mm,
If you are the type
mm,
that likes to buy land directly from people like that, right? Get a lawyer. It is very important. And there are different types of lawyers. You should be surrounded by different types of lawyers. It will interest you to know that lawyers have different niches. You cannot go and be
mhm,
getting maybe a family lawyer for a case like this. No, you should look for
mm,
a property lawyer. And property lawyer is vast, right? We have you also need to get an investment lawyer. You need to get a finance consultant. You need to get there are different aspects, but get a lawyer who is focused, a property lawyer who is focused and understand the nitty-gritty of land documentation. Now, there are different types of title deeds are different types. Certificate of occupancy, which is known as the C of O, right of occupancy, which is known as R of O also. We also have what they call it, a gazette. We have
mm,
different types of land types. So
mm,
all of them are important based on their level of they are all important based on their level, like they all take stages of approval. Like for
mm,
instance, an excision. An excision is a legal document that shows that okay, the government has agreed that this so and so family is the owner of this, that they've acknowledged that maybe a community owns that land. Of course, you're aware that all lands belong to the federal government. Are you aware of
yeah.
that? Nobody really owns the land. What we do per se is that we rent the land.
We rent the
You can
land. Mm,
we rent the land. We don't own the land. We rent it. So that certificate you are showing as your proof is just you saying okay. Just for instance, like the C of O. C of O has 99 years. It's 99
mhm,
years lifespan before you renew or before you renew it again, right? It's just like oh, it's certificate of it. You have the right to occupy that land for 99 years. Right of occupancy, you have the right to occupy that land for, but different communities, different location, different regulations. So understand it. Just like in Abuja, for instance, Abuja uses more of, you hear when you go to Abuja, you hear AMAC, that's area council lands. You hear FCDA, that's federal lands. You even hear Kuje council land. You hear those kind of things. So when you go to different locations, you understand there are different regulations. When you come to Lagos, you'll be hearing governor's consent, C of O, global C of O. You need to understand the regulation. And in doing that, you need to go to all this to your area council, that's the area council in that location, meet with the local government chairman in charge of that unit and ask questions about that. Are they aware that this person is leasing out this land, or do you know this person? Right? In
Mhm.
Abuja, there's a body called AGs, which people go to verify their documents if it's original because of the fear of fake documents, right? So there is
Yeah.
no way to actually see, like if you give a layman a document and say, see, help me check. No. The right thing to do is like I said, get a lawyer, right? It's not your lawyer that will now be your representative. Or better still, you go to AGs yourself. But the easier way is get a lawyer. Or better still, buy from a credible company like GTEx Homes, and you don't need to worry about that. Thank you very
Of
much.
Of course, of course, of course. Buy from a legitimate organization. Buy from a legitimate organization. And GTS Home, of course, offers those services. And looking at those services, I'm sure organizations are in competition for your money. They are in competition for my money. They are in competition
Yes.
for the audience money. And that's why you are here, right? Selling,
Yeah.
I mean, GTS, home and properties. So thank you very much, and blessing. I mean, I have to take my time to listen to you because, like I told you before we started the live session, I'm going to be learning from you as much as the audience will be learning from you. So I won't defranchise myself of the opportunity because I'm hosting the event. So let's go on to the other questions we have for you on tonight's session of the show.
Yeah.
So we're looking at we just talk about the authenticity of documentation. I mean, knowing the true owners of the land and the like. So, now let's come back to the investment. Yes, investment. So earlier you said there are various aspects of what investment. I mean, property investment and the like. So let's go to this question: what are the benefits and drawbacks of diversifying into different investment portfolio? That's question five.
Okay. So this question is divided into two, and I'll tell you why.
Mhm. It
There's
carries A
something
and
called
B.
it's divided into
Yes.
two, and I'll tell you why. So there's an aspect. There's you can invest as an individual, and you can also invest as an institution, right, or as a company. Right? If you are an individual, it's always advisable to diversify your investment portfolio. Let's say in Nigeria now, let me use Nigeria as a case study. I like to think global, but I'm going to use Nigeria. So let's use Nigeria as a case study. Let's say as an individual, you own land in Lagos, right? You own land in Lagos. It is important for you to try and own lands in other locations. That way, you are secured in a way, right? You are secured in a way, and not just that. When you are or as you're owning land, it's always advisable to upgrade to owning properties, owning houses, right? Then I've seen people who tell me, clients who tell me that, oh, blessing, I don't even know where my lands are. Do you understand? That's because they own lots of them, right? And but if, for instance, they own a shortlet somewhere that is giving them monies every week, I'm just telling you, there's no way they will forget it. Me, I know. There is no way they will forget it. There's nothing that gives attention like credit alerts, right? There's no way you forget that you have a shortlet in Ebonyi State or in Calabar that gives you money every single week, right? So diversifying it helps in managing the risks in real estate. Real estate is actually risky. I won't come here and tell you it's not risky. It has its risks. So when you diversify as an individual, that means owning lands in Lagos, Abuja, Port Harcourt, you can own like 6 plots here and there. Then you upgrade to owning shortlets. Then you upgrade to start building your own mini estates that you can sell, right? You can sell and make money, right? You can. So what's the mini estate? The mini estate is more like those locations. Let's say those lands now that you bought in Lagos. You now said, okay, fine, it has appreciated. Let me sell 6 plots and develop the 6 plots. and start building my mini estate there. And once you build like 6 units of, let's say, 5 bedroom or 4 bedroom terrace duplex, maybe you sell like three, keep one for yourself, and you've made money before you. This thing I'm telling you are secrets. You've made tons of money. You've made money. So what are we talking about? Right? That is individually. So, but as you can then decide, okay, later on after you've made it, is from the monies you make you use to, to advance. So you can decide that later you want to go into international properties as an individual. So when you are looking at companies, right? As a company, if you dominate Lagos, try and dominate Abuja. If you dominate Abuja, try and dominate other regions, right? To help you manage the risks. There are lots of benefits. It helps you manage risks, right? It helps you to manage the risks that is involved in real estate. It helps you understand cultures, and help you understand cultures and how to balance in the real estate industry, right? It helps you connect with new set of people. There's this connection it brings. For instance, now in the Bejuleki that I am now, right? Because I am in Bejuleki, in one of our housing units called Jasper Gardenia in Bejuleki, right? I've been able to understand the culture here. I've been able to see the way the people live here. I've been able to understand that, okay, there are more of industries here, and there are more people who are more interested in getting more of residential because of the high industriality that is going on here. Do you understand? Understanding your environment, that's one of the major benefits of your diversifying your investment portfolio. And lastly, you tend to make more money when you diversify. I mean, if we are doing all these things and we're not making money, trust me, no one will listen to any real estate guru. Nobody. So that is it. Those are the major benefits. Yes. Thank
Wow,
you.
wow, 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 wow. Interesting, interesting. And as much as this conversation is interesting, time is actually an enemy of anything that is good. Time, time, time. So please
It's fine.
help us. We want to be able to manage the time for the conversation because our time is fast spent and we want to what? Be able to cover as many of those questions that are still left untouched.
Yeah.
So we're moving straight to questions. I would like you to be precise with your response too. Bless. Thank you very much. So question C is telling us still on investment, still on investment. How do you navigate the complexity of financing a real estate investment, considering the current interest rates from local banks and likes?
Okay. All right. So in order to answer that question, you said how do I what? How do I navigate the? I didn't see the question. Please, can you come again?
How do you navigate the complexities of financing a real estate investment, considering the current interest rates?
Okay. Okay, good. So there are stages in land acquisition, right? When it comes to navigating the complexity of financing a real estate, there are stages to these things, right? One would say you should buy the land first before you I'm using land as an example, right? So it depends on how you approach the market. Are you approaching the market as an individual or as a company? But I'll be speaking basically on individual complexities. So financing your real estate investment can only be done safely if you choose to start from where you are, right? Real estate is not cheap. I don't know who sold that idea, honestly. Real estate is not cheap and will never be cheap. So you have to one, if you cannot afford, even if it's the initial deposit of a land, and you know you cannot afford it at the moment, right? Strive to get knowledge, just like you're doing right now. Strive to get knowledge pending while you save towards that. And there's another, let me give you guys this one for free. There's something they call rent to buy, right? Which is an aspect I was taught in one of the coaching sessions I went for. and it's more like you are renting to buy. You're leasing out that you're renting a space, a 4 bedroom, 5 bedroom for short lets, right? You fix it up and then you rent those rooms. Now, the monies you save from that investment, you can use it to buy a property. It all boils down to your planning, right? Real estate is not going to go cheap because of you. It's still appreciating, and that's why people are still investing their monies. Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much.
Can
Real
you
estate is still appreciating, and that is the reason why people are still investing. I don't know. Let me just be. I'm tempted to ask this question, but let me just use the opportunity to quickly have before we move to the next one. Is there a point in time in the future that you think real estate will stop appreciating, and why?
No, it will never stop. Have you seen
Why?
any? Have you seen,
Simply put, why?
because people, as far as I'm concerned, people, how will I put it? People are giving birth every day. There's need for land. The need is high. There's need
So
for
population will
residents.
keep increasing.
Population
Okay.
is what gives. Yes,
All
yes.
right.
There's
Thank
need.
you.
Yes, and people. Some people want to move to another location. There was a time that Lagos mainland was the place. First tag. If
Hmm.
you were conversant with Lagos, first tag, Ikeja. Now it's no longer the same. People's tastes are changing. Everybody's looking for something new, and people have this money, so it's never gonna go down. It's always gonna go
Wow.
higher and higher. And higher. Yes.
So talking about higher and higher and higher, we want to go higher in the ladder of our questions. So thank you very much, and we'll be tweeting question 7, and question 7 says what task implications should real estate investor be aware of, and how can they optimize their task strategy?
All right. So it is a very good question because I pay my tax, and it's important for every individual and company to pay your tax. Yes, it is very, very
Exactly, pay
important.
your task.
As a realtor, you need to pay your tax. So the best ways to manage this is to ensure you have your books recorded. More like, there are some bodies that are positioned to monitor your tax payment. So in a time as today, we can do it. You can do it yourself. But however, in order to ensure that it's nicely done and put together, I advise you get either a finance consultant or a tax lawyer. There's something called tax lawyer. If you do your research well, hire one, pay one, and manage the implication, because you don't want a situation whereby they're coming to check your books. You have to put your books together. You have to ensure that as you pay your tax, you keep records of them, so that the day these bodies come to your company or come to you individually, you won't be found wanting. So this is the best way to manage it. Ensure you have good bookkeeping of all the taxes you've been paying. Get a tax lawyer to ensure that you put your books together, right? And also get a finance consultant or a top chartered accountant to help you ensure that all these things are put together in order to
Thank you
avoid
very
inflation.
much.
Yes.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we want to go on and ask the next question. How do you, mitigate the risk associated with investing in states such as market fluctuation?
That's a very interesting question. Well, it still boils down to diversifying. Diversification is the game changer, if you ask me. Like, for instance, with what was happening last week due to the protest that we had, all I had to do was focus on the international market. It didn't stop us from doing business.
Hello, Blessing. Can you hear me, please? It's like we lost Blessing there. And Blessing, are you there? Okay, it seems we've lost Blue. Blessing. We do hope you are able to connect back and complete the last phase of the questions we have on the show tonight. Yes, yes, and yes, and yes. Thank you very much, everyone. And it's been a nice conversation with Blessing in the house tonight, and she has been dealing with all the questions we have on the show regarding the conversation around in mastering the game of real estate investment strategy. So I mean, it's a lot of knowledge shared tonight, and I do hope that someone out there is benefiting from the conversation. Someone out there is learning something, and if you are learning something, please. And if tonight is the first time, or this particular episode of the Corporate Life Show is the first one you are watching, and you're watching us right now live and direct, one thing you should do is that you should click on the follow button so that you can always get more insightful information about our next show or our content being shared on the platform. Secondly, do share the invitation link with your friends and contacts on any platform you're watching us right now. We are live on Facebook, we're live on LinkedIn, we're live on YouTube. Across the three platforms, we're always live every Friday evening. And I am your host. My name is Adeniyi Macarthy. Always, you always find me on the show discussing with industry leaders, masters in any phase of industry where we discuss, I mean, topics that actually concerns you as a person or an individual or a professional and entrepreneur, whatsoever you are involved with as a means of daily survival. So tonight we've been discussing mastering the game of what? Mastering the game of real estate. And it's been Friday evening, yeah. At a conversation, of course, it's been a conversation, and I do hope that you've learned a lot from the conversation tonight. And I want to just take some moments, take some moments off. While we come back on a short break to learn more from what we've been discussing tonight. Yes, we've been discussing a lot. We've been discussing a lot. And I do hope that someone is taking that initiative to think and act on investing in real estate. Investing in real estate. You heard from Blessing, right? And I think I've also heard something similar to that. Someone had the opportunity to buy a swampy land, now known as the Lekki. You can imagine that you cannot even invest 100 million naira right now to get a property. But today, then it was for a peanut, but then today it's very expensive. So thank you very much. Blessing is back with us. Thank you very much, Blessing. I guess you had a network glitch.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, thank
So,
you.
can you all hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. I believe others can hear you too. So just quickly wrap up the question so that we can move on to the next, and then we'll talk about the last question. Thank you.
All right, so great. Like, how do you mitigate risks associated with investing in real estate, such as market fluctuation? So, here's what I will tell you. Yeah, during the protests, this recent protest, right? The there was a lot of things happening around Nigeria at that point. So what do I do? The best thing you can do in managing all this market fluctuation is to diversify your investment portfolio. If you've been thinking just Nigeria, you can start thinking diaspora, more like foreign investment, international investment. And at that point, like the Dubai investment, the UK and the US, you can think of such locations. That's the way to manage risks like that, right? Because sometimes you cannot tell how the market will go. And the best way to do that is to just, start diversifying your investment portfolio into foreign properties. Thank you. Thank you so much. I can't hear you.
Sorry, I don't think Nigerians would like to even think of foreign as a diversification. Rather, they will take it as their main as their main
I
investment.
mean,
So
all
yes, yes,
right.
that's it. I am sure you understand why. You understand why.
I
I don't think any
understand.
Nigerian
I understand.
will want to have it as option B. They will want to have it as, in fact, the option A, B, C. Then maybe Nigerian investment will not be D, E, F. So you understand what I mean? If the
I
opportunities
understand.
are there, and I think I'm going to ask that question maybe once we are done with the list of questions we have for you on the show tonight, because our time is fast
Yes.
spent. I do hope we have enough time. The next 1 minute, quickly help us answer the next question. And the next question is question number 9. What opportunities and challenges come with investing in real estate market?
So I'm gonna look at the challenges. There are a lot, but of course, with greatness comes great challenges. So, one is you are not really if you don't understand the market, get like for instance, if you don't how Omonile works, how to get land from the Omonile's community, how to buy land. If you don't understand the processes involved, you might find yourself in the mix of, you know, having yourself, going for court cases, all the stress that comes with buying, falling for scams, right? I think that's even the major challenge. I remember attending a class, and that was all I could hear from people. How do they avoid Nigeria? And that is one of the challenges. Another challenge is not investing in the right location. Let me tell you, land is good, right? You can see there's this person that will tell you anywhere you see land, invest. But I'm not trying to say this to demean anybody's word, but it's not every location at the moment you should invest. If you are looking to invest in the next, let's say, if you're looking to get your return on investment the next 5, 10 years, you should be looking out for locations that are already developed, because there are three stages of land development: pre-develop, developing, and post-develop, right? So you should be looking for the land development rather that are under pre-developmental stage if you know you want to get high return on investment. That way you can see some patterns, some landmarks, or something activities going on in that location mental stage, and that can prevent 20 years. Do you understand? These are the challenges when it comes to land development. And that's why you see some person, they'll tell you, oh, I bought land in this place and it hasn't given me my return on investment yet. Right? These are the two major challenges in land investment in real estate markets. Return on investment. Can you hear me? Can you hear me, please? Right? High return, right? That is thinking of going into the real estate market as a company, more like as someone who wants to, sell lands to people. You help people make their dreams come true. How do I mean? You make it easier for people to own properties without stress, without hassles, without scams. You're solving a problem. And that is one thing I love about my company. You're solving a problem. If you choose to do it in the Nigerian market, beautiful. That means you are taking the pain. You are taking the pain of going through the consultation, the land acquisition for people to acquire it. The opportunities are enormous. You get high return on investment. You get to live the life that you want to live. The monies you make in real estate, you'll be surprised that if you can just give it 2 years, 3 years, you give it max attention, you'll be amazed at the monies you make. And transgenerational wealth for you, your family, your loved ones, and people that matter in your life. Thank you very much. That's all for now. Thank you.
Hmm. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And because of our time, we just move to the last question for the show tonight. It's been an interesting one. It's been, I mean, an educative one. It's been a mind shifting one. And for me, I'm already thinking about a kind of property investment that I'll be going into after the show. That's interesting to let you know, right? I'm already thinking there's an
Mm.
idea that you spark up. I mean, that came up while you are speaking, and I felt, oh, this is Rema, this is Rema. But then let me quickly
I love what you say, Rema.
let me quickly go to the last question so that we can call it a night on the show tonight. So, question 10: how do you build a successful investment strategy, balancing risk and potential return on investment?
The best way to build a successful investment strategy is one, research on the market you want to invest in. You have to research. Either research or you look for a company that has already done the work and invest. That's the best way to successfully invest. That's your investment strategy. Secondly, if you're thinking land banking, like I say land banking because it's the best, one of the best and surest and safest way to start, right? You should start you should start by 1 acre is about 6 plots. You can start with six
Yeah.
plots of land. So look for where you can own 6 plots of land, kickstart. If you can start with 2 plots, no problem. But make sure you are increasing it by the day. Then balancing the risks. The best way to balance your risks, right? Real estate is actually a mid-risk investment. It's not high, it's not low, it's mid, it's in the middle. So you are safe, right? Already thinking. But then again, in order to balance it, you must manage the risks that comes with it. For instance, if you are investing in a location like Ikoyi, you must ensure that you carry out intense research and do what they
Mm,
call due diligence. If you are buying it on your own, carry out your due diligence. There are bodies that are put in place for you. Like I told you about the local government area. Go there, carry out your research, or better still, get a lawyer. Get a good property lawyer, not just any kind of lawyer, a property lawyer that will help you check these things, check your
mm,
documents. There's something like fake documents. It is real, it is very real, it looks so real that you think it's the original, but with the help of experts like the lawyers and the government bodies that are in your local government, you can help you avoid this. You understand? So balancing the risks, like I said, is diversifying. Another means of balancing your risks is to diversify. If you invest in Lagos, you invest in Abuja, then you invest in diaspora as the capacity increases, right? So your potential return on investment is dependent on. You remember I mentioned 5 things you should look out for when you want to invest in a location. I said location,
mm,
right? I said
mhm,
landmarks. I also said
mhm,
land type, right? I said the features, and I also said the last one was price. So these key things are potential return on investment. In you are looking to invest any location at all, even if you want to invest in Ibejuleki. And also, there's something. Let me just give you this one as a bonus. Always keep your ears and tabs on the ground. There's see potential real estate investment always leave clues. Always. For instance, in Ekpe, there's a major infrastructure was announced by our governor of Lagos that there will be called Lagos Films proposed already. The international airport is also proposed in that axis. So what does it tell you? What does it tell you? It leaves clues. It leaves clues. I remember when Ibejuleki started. Ibejuleki now is being sold for 18 million naira. I remember when Ibejuleki was selling for 600,000 naira. Sorry, 600,000 naira. This is same Ibejuleki 200,000, 300,000. This same Ibejuleki. When the Dangote refinery was, they were saying Dangote. In fact, a lot of realtors can relate. Dangote refinery, Dangote now Dangote refinery is here, and I'm still telling you that a lot of people still have not bought a property in Ibejuleki. We'll all here. There's Lekki Free Trade Zone here. There's Dangote Jetty here. There is Kampai Tropicana with all these features. Some people are still waiting and waiting until they see sky-rise buildings. That's when they will invest. So, however, I think you have an answer to your questions. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow,
Thank
interesting,
you.
interesting. It has been an interesting conversation tonight. I must say, it's been one of the most interesting conversations we've had on the show for a time now. And before we go, I don't know, Blessing, can you still hear me? Blessing, can you hear me? I think Blessing is having some trouble with our network over there. But then I think are
I
you
can hear
back?
you.
Can you hear me? Okay, so I want to ask. There's this particular question. It was not on the list of questions we have for you, but then let me just quickly ask, using this opportunity. Some organization like real estate
I'm back.
organizations have come up and
I
they
can hear
fold up. What would you say
you.
was wrong? So this organization
One,
left
one
left with people's
of
money,
the
and for one
things
reason or the other, this dropped a
is,
bombshell in the mind of people with fear of the unknown.
can you hear me?
Hello, I can hear you. Please go ahead.
Companies. When you see a business
Hello, Blessing.
fold
Can you
up,
hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay.
I can hear
Yeah,
you.
go ahead now. I can
So
hear
I
you
said,
fully.
so I said there is, running a business in Nigeria is not a day's job. It's not easy. And if you heard me right, I said real estate is long term, right? A lot of times people think you just make the money fast like that. No, it's a long term journey. So one
Hmm.
of the reasons I observe is, creating unrealistic pricing, right?
Hmm.
Unrealistic. Oftentimes we get it even from some of our clients. They'll tell you, "Oh, this company is selling for this price." Do you know what they are selling? We are not just selling. We know what we are selling. They know what they are selling. Visions are different. Packages are different. So we know what we are selling. We are selling the future to you. They know what they're selling. So whenever I see some prices, I know, see, I could tell. Because take it for instance, now I'm just giving an instance. A property is 2 million naira in a prime location. You're still going to pay your agents. You're still going to pay take cost of operations. You're still going to settle some consultants and lawyers that you have acquired. Because let me tell you something, in this business called real estate, you're going to spend a lot of money in the administrative aspect, even more than the aspect of the real estate itself. The
Hmm.
administrative aspect is what organizes the company itself. You understand? You have to get an accountant to keep your properties in check. So you you what do you know where the money are going to? Do you know the cost of operation, daily operations? Do you know that whenever that are not being managed, you know, so
Hmm.
maybe the cost of maybe a promo supersedes the cost of the gain, the profits they will get. Everybody is in
Hmm.
business to make money. Even you, the investor, wants to make money. And that is why we are when we sell properties, in as much as we want to make your dream come true, we also want to stay in business. which is why when you see
Mm,
some of our properties, we call it luxury service properties. Not everyone can afford it. But how if you see the vision of where we're going to, you will buy it. So whenever you see companies fold up, it's one of these issues that spring up here for either they've spent more than they spent, or their administration is not managed rightly. Yeah. Basically,
thank you.
these are the
Thank you.
basics. That's it.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Yeah.
much. And looking at the time on the show tonight, we've spent more time on the show tonight, and we've gotten value. I'm sure of that. We've gotten value, and because we've gotten value from the conversation tonight, a very big thank you from all of us at Corporate Life Show, the team, the entire team. Uh, at Corporate Life Show, I want to say a very big thank you to you, Blessing, for being on the show tonight, and then
Thank
sharing with
you.
us all this fantastic information and knowledge with us, and helping us to not fall victim of circumstances that we say, oh, had I known, had I known. And yes, you say, had I known, if you miss the show and then you invest wrongly, uh, I mean, you, you invested wrongly uh, in on the show. I want to say night to everyone so that we can just say bye bye to everyone.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, and please do well to practice all that you've learned today to avoid tears. Okay? Thank you all so much. Thank you.
Thank you. And here is when we will call it a night on the show. Remember, we have episode coming up, same time, same place, next week. We'll be discussing a topic very important. Watch us and follow us on our social media platform for more information about that. And then remember, corporate life is all about you, not us, just you. And we say, have a